So right now, everyone in the UK is talking about this whole red versus blue school war situation, and it turns out it's supposed to happen all over again. Let me explain. Imagine being in school, and instead of thinking about exam preparation and homework that you've left until the last minute, you're having to think about literal war. Well, that's exactly what high school students are having to do now in the UK, all because of the red versus blue school wars. It was basically like a trend, pretty much. It started in London. It's been promoted all over social media on apps like Snapchat, TikTok, and Facebook. And the whole trend pretty much is trying to turn violence and disorder between students into a game. They've even made full-on posters for this and everything, naming a ton of random schools and putting them on different sides, obviously either red or blue. And students from these schools were then told to meet up at certain locations after school and fight rival school students. But they were also encouraged to bring and use various weapons. Some of the posters told people to bring things like rulers, compasses, and scissors, obviously things that you can just find in a school, but others also included knives and fireworks. And with these posts being designed as posters, it made it look like they were just advertising an event. And to make it even more enticing to students of that age, they gave it a scoring system. This obviously makes it a lot more competitive, and what the kids love, they love a competition. It doesn't sound like the point system is the same with like every single area, but basically the more damage you do to a rival school student, the more points you get. And obviously the problem with this is anyone can just go around saying, oh, I've got X amount of points, like, oh, I'm so cool and all this sort of thing. So I'm pretty sure the only way to actually get points is if there's proof that you've actually got the points, and obviously the only way to do that is if these incidents are filmed. Obviously the problem was bad enough with it just being in London, but then it got worse because it spread. It didn't just spread around the rest of London, it spread nationwide pretty much by the sounds of it. It spread to places like Bristol, Derby, Birmingham, Nottingham, and even Sheffield, where I'm from. And there's even reports saying that it didn't just spread to like other year 9s, 10s, and 11s, which was the original target audience for this trend, because there's also reports saying that it then spread to colleges and university students as well. Now, every one of these pictures that have been posted organise the violence to happen on specific days. Like the first one was on the 27th of February, and then around a week later on the 4th, 5th, and also 6th, I'm pretty sure, that's when it was also supposed to happen again. And even though those dates have passed, apparently it's still not over, because it's supposed to happen on the 13th of March again as well. Now, obviously, as soon as police found out, they were taking this very seriously. There's been increased police patrols around schools, especially after school when all this was supposed to be kicking off. They're now working more closely with schools to talk about stuff like this. And schools have also been sending out warnings to parents and carers of their students, like letters and emails and that sort of thing. And they've been working with the police and local authorities to try and monitor the trend and basically keep their students safe. For example, Blue Coat Walton, which is a school in Nottingham, they basically sent a letter out to parents and carers of their students telling them that there's no specific risk to any of their students because of this trend. They encouraged them to talk to their children about staying safe online and obviously not getting involved in trends like the red versus blue school wars trend. And speaking of staying safe online, obviously, as you know, the UK government is considering banning under 16-year-olds from social media. And surely this whole school wars situation is just a major boost for that to happen. Any sane person would see that without social media, this trend would never have gotten as big as it's become. Now, what makes this whole situation even worse is that while there's mostly been no cases of the red versus blue school wars actually happening anywhere, there has actually been one case. This case is said to have happened in Bristol, and unfortunately it involves a 12-year-old girl. She was reportedly punched repeatedly in the face at her blue school by another 13-year-old boy who was from a red school, and this 13-year-old boy then also apparently attacked other people at that school as well. And the problem is, because everyone's heard the red versus blue school wars, now anytime any kind of violence at all happens at a school, everyone automatically assumes that it's to do with the red versus blue school wars. Like, for example, about a week ago, I reported on this incident that happened at a school in Nottingham. This school is called the Nottingham University Academy of Science and Technology, otherwise known as the NUAST. And sadly, at that school, a 15-year-old boy was stabbed by another 15-year-old boy in the afternoon. This 15-year-old boy was taken to Queen's Medical Centre with serious injuries. Obviously, because everybody's heard about the school wars, everybody automatically assumed that this was to do with that, but that wasn't actually the case. Obviously, the school wars are all supposed to happen after school. This actually happened during school hours. It happened around 1:30 PM, I'm pretty sure. And police have literally said that this incident isn't believed to be related to that. However, there has recently been a major development because now 2 people have been arrested for actually making these posts organising the school wars. Reports say that a 15-year-old boy and a man in his 20s have been arrested for allegedly organising fights between school children. A 15-year-old I can kind of understand, but a man in his 20s organising fights between kids? That's a little bit strange to me. Either way, if you're watching this video and you're a student that literally goes to a school anywhere in the UK and you've heard about the school wars and people are talking about it, do not get involved. I think generally people are just seeing this as some kind of joke. I don't think people are really taking it seriously, and hopefully it stays that way. But as more information comes out about this whole situation, I'll keep everyone updated, so make sure you subscribe for all the latest news.